maybe like in 7 decades now. And I believe like this pressure will build up on the governments to take necessary actions to ceasefire and to give a right to the Palestinian people to live safely. And it may support, to curtail Israel's brutality in the Strip. And certainly the increasing, and now the protests are also coming up in the United States as well. And that is really very alarming for the US government as well. They have to take the rational decisions on it, and they have to listen the voices of the people. And I believe one day they would certainly pressurize their governments. Yes, please.
Right. Let's also focus on the international response on a diplomatic level. So far, the United Nations Security Council has seen a number of draft resolutions. One proposed by Russia, which was asking for a humanitarian ceasefire. That was vetoed by the United States and the UK. It's not surprising, but of course it is alarming, and even I would go further in saying it's terrifying to see that Palestinian lives are being taken for granted so easily.
Yes, you are right. This is really very shocking for all the people that one after one resolution by Russia or the other countries are vetoed that emphasize humanitarian ceasefire. But there is no action there is no realization at the US government or the UK government to listen to the voices of the people, and they always keep on doing such kind of acts that support Israelis terrorism, I would certainly say, and the repeated attacks. And now they have enhanced their attacks on Palestinians. They are preparing for a large land battle, and that was like just erasing Palestinian people. And that is out of mind that those who champion human rights will be supporting such kind of fascism and genocide in Palestine. I'm really sorry to say they should not call themselves the human rights champions, and they should not raise a voice on human rights anywhere. And even their own people are protesting against their
All right, I think we've lost Mr. Munir Ahmed from Islamabad. We'll be hopefully figuring that out soon, and we'll have him back with our program. But let's get live images from the Gaza Strip right now. Earlier in one of our previous broadcasts, we had the latest breaking news of the Israeli regime continuing its bombardment of the Gaza Strip, supported by its Western allies. The bombing campaign continues on the besieged Gaza Strip, claiming more civilian lives. Over 6,500 Palestinians have been killed. There we have some other figures of what's taking place in the West Bank. More than 1,400 Palestinians have been kidnapped over there since the October 7th Al-Aqsa storm, which was carried out by the Gaza-based resistance movements, as the Israelis are ramping up their aggression against Palestinians on both ends in Gaza and in the West Bank. I think we have Munir Ahmed back with us. Mr. Ahmed, you can continue where we left off. We just lost you a minute ago.
Hello.
Yeah, we have you, Mr. Ahmed.
Yes, I'm with you. What was the question?
Yeah, you can if you can continue with where you left off because we lost you there, and if not, we can move on
Yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah.
next topic.
The signal was lost, and I was saying that those countries who champion human rights, they should also act accordingly, and they should raise their voice instead of supporting Israel over there. And the resolutions coming out from Russia or Brazil, and they were not taking any, it is not being heard anywhere. And there are like 10, 12 Security Council members.
So live images from Gaza. Once again, we were going through some of the details of what's taking place right now. We did have some reports about the Israeli regime briefly carrying out a ground incursion entering northern Gaza in preparation for a possible ground invasion. We will be talking to our correspondent in Gaza a little later on to get the latest updates in that regard as well. But regardless of a ground invasion, the Israeli attacks on the defenseless people of Gaza has been going on for 20 days now. The result has been at least 6,500 people killed and thousands of child casualties, innocent women and children bearing the brunt of these attacks. The Israelis had on various occasions claimed that their attacks are targeted at military positions, but in the past, that has proven to be false. We also had images that we aired for you yesterday here on Press TV of a marketplace being attacked with women and children just standing about waiting to get some of their basic necessities and amenities, and that marketplace was attacked. We saw the immediate aftermath of women and children being killed and being injured on the ground as that marketplace was attacked and was destroyed by the Israeli war machine. Munir Ahmed is back with us now. Mr. Ahmed, we were talking about the issue of the United Nations Security Council and some of the condemnations that were being directed towards the Israeli regime. The United Nations Security Council, the UN chief himself, Antonio Guterres, was one to call out the Israelis on the massacres and the indiscriminate attacking and bombing that they've been carrying out against the Palestinians in Gaza. And the Israeli response, the Israeli envoy to the United Nations response, was that the United Nations chief should resign. How do basically my question would be, where do they get the Israelis this attitude that they can be above international law, they can defy international resolutions, and they can even ask, in the face of criticism of what's evidently taking place, they can call for the United Nations Secretary General to resign?
This is ridiculous, simply ridiculous. And such kind of statements certainly cannot be taken as very seriously. On the other hand, the United States stance that Israeli attacks on Gaza, they are on self-defense. I'm sorry, they are attacking Gaza and Palestinians for decades now, and they are defending themselves. The Palestinians are defending themselves, and now they are under siege for many days now. And how the United States can say that they are defending themselves? On the other hand, the statement from Israel to asking the Secretary General of the United Nations to resign is surely just a ridiculous statement, and it is just to hide their own war crimes And like if say something against or highlight those crimes and stress the nations to come together, and and you ask a resignation from that person. And many leadership, the global leadership are condemning Israeli attacks. So shall we expect such kind of statements that all the governments or the state heads of different countries shall resign? Definitely not. And we should not take that statement very seriously. And even the UN Secretary General shall not take it very seriously. And I believe, like tomorrow, the nations would certainly cast vote against the Israeli fascism and genocide in Gaza in the UN General Assembly. But unfortunately, if the resolution even passed, will not have any binding on Israel or the United States to not to support Israel or other countries not to support Israel. And this Zionist approach and actions shall be condemned. And I believe they should be stopped by all those nations who believe in human rights and humanitarian values. They should come together now and to develop a certain sort of consortium or a bloc against such kind of fascism wherever it is committed, not only in Gaza, but there are other parts in the world where such kind of actions have been taken, and they are under process of such kind of more actions are in process. And the US has always proved to be, warmonger, and I don't know who runs actually the government of United States. They are so eager to erupt wars and to have such kind of heinous crimes everywhere. And recently, Ukraine has been, a big victim, like where they have put over $100 billion, maybe like $120 billion over there in ammunition. And the destruction over there is huge. And they need maybe 500 or 600 or 800 billion dollars, the rough estimate says, to again reconstruct Ukraine. And such kind of now the Gaza is again like if you see when the Jewish refugees came to this area, and what land they had just shelters, and with the mercy of the native people. Now the native people are asking for mercy of the big powers and Israel, and that is being fully supported by US and its allies like UK and other countries. But the humanitarian crisis that we see, and even they are not giving a pause to it, rather increasing their attacks over there. And this situation is culminating to the genocide, and the more than 3,000 children have been killed so far. And this is, I don't know.
Right.
They are just going beyond the limits of the war crimes.
Thanks a lot, sir. Journalist and political analyst Munir Ahmed joining us from the Pakistani capital, Islamabad.